Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the November 15, 2025 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live first Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube and various other platforms, or catching up with us on replay. And we ask you to click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy, nice as in the word saint spelled backwards. And today, my co-hosts are Brother Walk, star of Sex Talk with Walk, Thursday at 9 p.m. We got Brother Afro Agnostic, star of those Afro Agnostic videos on TikTok and YouTube and various other social media platforms. We have Student X, star of Mutant Politics, that usually often comes on at 10:30 a.m. on Saturdays. Won't be today. We got infamous El Pooh, star of Spin That Back, which also happens at 10:30 on Saturdays, 10:30 a.m. Not going on today. And we got Mr. Floyd X, the boss man. I don't know if he's going to be popping in to do his little thing.
What up? What up? Salute to the other boss man. You know, Max B is free. Max
I'm
B.
a boss. I'm not with that. It's never nothing no more.
I know we only celebrate when people come home from prison. We don't celebrate college graduates. Only when you come, right, Brother Afro? When you come from prison, that's what we celebrate.
What's going on with you, Brother Walk?
I'm feeling sad. My bitch dumped me. I got dumped again, man. What's going on? I keep a woman? Well, I'm all right.
Damn, I was rooting for you, man. I thought you found the one. Brother Afro Agnostic, what's going on with you, sir?
What I was going to ask, he had because it sounded like he had a female dog, or I didn't know if it was a person or human. I didn't know.
Yeah.
What we talking about?
You're a female dog right now. Yep. Yeah.
See, you white folks that think you so superior.
Anyways, so anything else? What's going on with you, sir?
Oh man, I'm just, sometimes you send people to get things and they come back with things that you at first kind of like, why did you get that? But then after experiencing that, you like, that's cool. So I got this new bed, man, and paid a little pretty penny for it, man. But I ain't gonna lie, though, it was a big difference on the back though, because I was like having these issues, man, and like it almost went away. So I know it's not like a commercial, but invest in your back.
That's a good one. Hey, that's real talk. Student X, sir, live from the dojo. What is going on with you, sir? Looking dapper.
And there's no doubt what Afro said, man. Get yourself a real bed. It makes a big difference. If you ain't spent at least $2,000 on your mattress, it's probably not right for you. You know what I mean? So get yourself a good bed. But no, real quick, but I just wanted to mention and cue up that photo for me real quick, brother. I'm gonna say a sentence and just go and put it up. But man, we have numerous examples now. Will, Steph, Dallas Ninja, Cash, Sing, get out.
Hey, Student X, Floyd X had what photo? I'm sorry, man. You want to pull it up the way that you were gonna pull it up before?
No, numerous evidence for what though? I wasn't clear for what.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all been following, man. This dude, Cash Sing, man. He's when men have females that don't represent them well, you know what I mean? It reflects on your manhood, you know what I mean? Who the hell you are as a dude, you know what I mean? And it's a shame, and I want to see men remove themselves off the trajectory and don't marry them, you know what I'm saying? You lose all the leverage at that point. You want to hang out with them, hey, that's on you. But don't marry him, man.
Wait, you talking about relationships and females? Nice guy would probably think that's for the Sex Talk with Walk show.
Actually, we actually do have a topic that we're talking about turning something into a housewife. So that's actually on the topic. But Mr. Floyd X, what's going on with you, sir?
Chilling, man. Just here.
Student X forgives you for not having his picture ready.
Oh no, it's all good. But it'll come up, I'm sure, in that topic that we're gonna talk about.
All right. Yeah, I was celebrating my 27th wedding anniversary last night. So 27 years of marriage.
Nice.
I was the best man at that. Wait, let me say this. Let me tell this quick story. I was the best man at that wedding. And you know, Floyd switched it up on me. Because we supposed to have Mexican touches, and then he came with the fresh white, and I'm like, oh, you just trying to look better than Mick. Nah, but salute to your beautiful wife and my nieces and nephew.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
But that ain't got shit to do with the story I just told.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on with you, infamous El Poo?
I'm getting my power back. Wait.
What's going on with you, El Poo?
Oh man, I'm just blessed and happy to be here, man. You know, happy to see that I'm feeling good. And congratulations, Mr. Floyd X, once again on your marriage and everything, your anniversary. Proud to see that. I think I was there from the beginning. So
yes sir. Yep.
That's what's up. All right, let's get to the get. First thing up, let's talk. You know, we talked about Antonio Brown got himself in a little situation, got indicted from Dubai, but there's actually since been a video, and we don't have the video, but Mr. Walk has seen it. So give us an update on that, brother.
Well, Mr. Antonio Brown was at a function, and then leaving the function, he ran into a blogger, a guy who always talks about him, who lives in Miami. Talked bad about him. He ran into him. They got into a physical fight. According to the blogger, he said Antonio Entourage jumped in and he was fighting all them dudes. In the midst of the melee, security jumped in, and then Antonio Brown confiscated a gun from the security. Y'all gotta hire better security people. And so then he jogged him down and shot at him 2 times. So he's getting charged with attempted murder. He was he was hiding out. This happened a few months ago. He was hiding out in Dubai. He was a fugitive, and now he back and he got arrested in Miami, baby. Antonio Brown.
Hey, I be trying to give these people a benefit of a doubt, but when I saw that video, I was like, damn, what an idiot, dude. And I just give up on him. I give up on Tony Brown. I'm like, man, he probably just going against the system, bucking the system. But when I saw that video, I'm like, that's some idiotic shit. Then he was backstage talking about it with some other YouTube streamer, and like, yeah, you saw I did that right. I did that right. And yeah, man, and they was trying to, he say, yeah, I saw it too. And he said, so what? I didn't see nothing. I mean, it was just dumb. It was like a dumbass teenager who doing some dumb shit, don't know the consequences and shit like that.
My brothers, I'm very surprised at you. This is a case of CTE, which has been implanted into the NFL by the Jews.
I don't agree. Wait. Let me reel that back in. Reel that back in. I'm reeling that back in. I don't agree with what he just said. Go ahead.
No, that's satire, y'all. No, we don't condone that.
Okay.
Hey, you stole my thunder. I only got 3 letters to say about this. CTE. What you got to say about this, Student X?
Yeah, I haven't really been following too much, mainly because I had just quit really following and looking at Antonio Brown because I started seeing his antics, and sometimes it'd be funny, but he was seemingly going a little off the rocker. The same. Some say the same about Kanye. And why they kind of quit kind of following him and looking at him. He just start to look a little crazy. So yeah. So I'm not too sure about this, but I trust you all's assessment.
Hey man, we got to be careful. This is exactly the reason why homeboy got shot. Talking about Antonio Brown, but you got something to say about this infamous El Poo or don't?
Oh yeah, I do. I actually do. I'm gonna just say it. They don't make people like they used to. I wasn't here last week, but I know y'all talked about Dick Cheney. I bet none of y'all had a friend like Dick Cheney, one that'll take a blast to the face and then say, I apologize to this man for getting into the line of fire with my face. And then if this was like 1993, 94, security ain't the same, like Snoop security. Some kind of way the security would have found a way to take blame for this.
Ouch.
Well, but I want to say one more thing about Antonio Brown. Like with the CTE. Like, I think that is very, very on the table about what's going on with this dude. I'm telling you, these kids be playing football since Pop Warner, 5-6 years old. Them hits are different than the hits that a boxer takes. It's gloves on, it's padded, it shakes the brain, but it's not as much as the high impact of a freaking 200-pound dude coming at you. Them cracks are serious. So that does have something to do with it. And I bet you this, he gonna use that in his defense.
Oh, I thought CTE meant colors tendency to exist. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what? We need to acknowledge, JC, salute, original OG Focus Up, found a partner. So that's what's up. So that having been said, up next, I think we're going to be talking about, the picture, the video, Daddy's Little Girl. We were going to talk about this last week. We didn't get to it, but we saw this video, and we're going to play the video, and we're going to react to it. We definitely had some reactions. So you got that queued up, Mr. Floyd X.
Oh, she got caught with the man. Oh, she got caught. Oh, yeah, he's getting smoked. Oh. Cool, grab on the ass. See. How do you get caught? Like, how do you just see Oh my God.
They should have jumped that old dude. What you got to say about this, Brother Walk?
I think this is a case of a father who was not in control of his daughter going astray. His daughter's out there getting her butt groped it on. Like, this is stuff that we used to do as kids. You know, we had a girlfriend, you get that little touchiness. It's cool. They just kids doing their thing. But he caught his daughter in the act. That's why he kind of lost his man and hit that young lad. I would have been pissed at myself as well, but he projected it on the young boy. That's how I feel the situation was. But I'm say this too, that you got to check your daughter on this situation. Young boy was just being a young boy, but she was out there. He caught her, and that's why he went berserk. I would have went berserk too. Let me tell a real quick story. My brother, my oldest brother, he used to tell me about a chick he was dating. When he'd be pulling up at her house, he would see her daughter in the driveway with this boy. And she was like 13, 14, and they'd be feeling on each other, doing all that stuff. And he was like telling the chick, like, you got to check this. She gonna end up getting pregnant. And guess what happened? She ended up getting pregnant like that. Check your daughters.
Infamous El Poo. Use the dad. Use the girl dad. What's your take on this video?
Well, that was some sucker stuff for the father to even do that, number one. Let me say that. And number two, I don't know where they was, but I know he wasn't in LA because these little youngsters ain't going for nothing like that, man. You got to be careful around these youngsters running up on them like that. You can get hurt for real. That's the only thing I can say. Just be careful. Do not try this at home.
Amen. Afro agnostics.
I want to just say real quick in response, like what Pooh was saying. I think he was a weak man. He had his little nephew there. That's the only reason the boy didn't retaliate and he felt all powerful, slapping the young boy up. I think he's not protecting his daughter by doing that. He's just showing his daughter that it's normal for a man to put physical hands on you when that man is upset. I mean, I specifically got suspended for fondling a girl in high school. They rolled it up. That was my first introduction to the word fondling. I was like, what is that? I mean, this is part of what young boys and girls do. Some people on either side of the gender are going to be more promiscuous than others. This is a perfect time to talk about sex education. I mean, I bet he don't put no aggression into education. You know what I'm saying? I took my son and daughter to the Kaiser sex education program. You know what I'm saying? They learned a lot. I mean, this is the time to have those type of discussions, man, not to do all this crazy pimp shit, that he's doing to his daughter. That's bad, man.
Student X, sir, your reaction to this video?
Yeah, so my first question was, where was it? I didn't know if this was America or someplace else. Because
sound like Africa.
Where was it? I'm sorry.
It seemed like Africa from how he was.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. Because cultural norms are different.
Yeah, the dude that was commenting on it was from some foreign, but they were speaking English very clearly. So that was
Okay, so it's
I
here.
heard
So
the Caribbean accent with the English though.
Go ahead.
Guy. But yeah, the main thing is that I think the brother, the gentleman, the father, he lost control of his emotions. Is what it all broke down to. I think you all alluded to that already. I think he was obviously disappointed in his daughter. But at the same token, for him to engage a young man like that was not right. Not adult like, and definitely foolish, in particular if you were in LA or some other places, Baltimore, DC, a lot of places I could think of that, Philly, that went in like that, in most cases. So, it's but like I said, but let's just say in the context of even if this was in Africa, I still think that it wouldn't be the right thing to do per se, but the cultural norms are that young men know that you don't engage and interact with women like that, and for what it could do, for these some of these communities, you have wars that break out, for situations, so a lot of the laws that we see in the Bible, for example, commandments, they're all based on keeping the peace in between neighbors. You see what I'm saying? And so any man going around groping women, especially, if they're not, yours, is not necessarily a good idea. But obviously a woman who allows such a thing, is obviously inviting, a type of energy around her as well. So all in all, this was a big lose for everybody. Everybody was wrong in this.
I totally disagree with what you said, Student X. I respect you. I respect the Muslim nation, all that stuff. But guess what? I remember I was a kid. My mom and dad dropped me off to the movies to go see The Naked Gun with this chick. And then they picked me up and they was like, how's the movie? I'm like, I don't remember. I was watching the movie. We was catching in the touching.
Mr. Floyd X.
Man, that's how when you get those women that are very experienced, that we really, how do you think they get that experience?
This was high school I'm talking about, buddy. High school, man. We always doing that stuff.
You gotta
charge. You gotta charge.
Hey, real quick.
You read up your papers, man.
Look, to the young men out there, listen. It's not appropriate to be out there publicly grabbing your girl, any girl's booty, even if it's your girlfriend. Yeah. It's inappropriate to do it public, and you got to consider the father angle. No father want his daughter out there like that, but we know that the father was completely wrong for getting in the young man's face and doing all that other stuff. He was doing too much. Like student next day, he got out of his emotions, and you have to be aware of what your daughter is susceptible to, what she's capable of, and you have to be able to try to guide her away from that to let her know that doing that is inappropriate. So just for the young people,
May I ask, is it also inappropriate for a girl to grab a man's groin or a butt?
Yes.
Well?
Yes.
Okay, so just indecent exposure. I agree.
Exposure. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my take on it is you guys are super sexually repressed. At the end of the day, to me, this is like a no biggie type thing. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's colorably disrespectful that it was out in public, but it's definitely not something to be going off on. Whatever. That's just something like, hey, this is not how you should conduct yourself out in public. But again, it's very natural for human beings to do. They're of that age. I would preach responsibility more than just don't do nothing whatsoever. So I'm not even tripping about this. I'd be like, I know you ain't doing that right in my effing face, and that'd probably be the whole discussion. So that's all I got.
Yeah, a lot of times, I have to say with a lot of these religious, like we thought maybe it might be in the Caribbean or maybe be in Africa where there's a lot of religious repression. They don't promote masturbation. I remember when I took my son to that sex education at Kaiser, and the gleam in his eyes when he heard that masturbation was okay. I was ouch. And we wasn't even raising them religiously, and it was like it's okay to do. His eyes just brighten up, like
Why you put your boy out there like that? Why you the one that was on the show before?
Yeah, bring up a clip. Bring up a
Yeah.
Mr. Flex. The toucher. Yeah, what you about to say?
I was getting ready to say, you know what? It's really it really wasn't that bad because it's not like she's like bending over and twerking and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then that dude that was recording, I kind of blame him because he started recording. He probably called the father and everything. He probably snitched, and then his father came on.
Hey, I see her. She over here right now.
That's how it should be. You know what I mean? Look, your children are extension, and they represent your household. You know, and so how they're presenting themselves, how they're acting, can have ramifications on you as a family. You know what I mean? You, a man as a provider. Or maybe even the wife as a provider. So if you had more of that, more of a sense of values in a community, which that could very well have been. That's why I was asking where it was. Because there's some communities that have a high level of values, and you get the having one of your children out of order, it can impact you and the family, and the ability to take care of that family.
Well, not just me. I ain't even mad at the young man. He a young man. He trying to do it, and it wasn't really that bad. That's all I'm saying. Amen. It's not like it wasn't consensual or anything like that. It wasn't that bad. So that's all I'm saying.
All right. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the credible lies of AI. One of the things that inspired this is that there's a Neil deGrasse video where he's basically saying, you know what? I've done the research, and it turns out, the Earth is flat. And then basically it pans out to say, by the way, I didn't say none of this stuff. This is completely AI. And this is the dangers of AI because, you see these people talking and you're thinking this is the real position that they take. And I mean, that's one problem. And then you have the situation where like ChatGPT, where like literally this kid was struggling. He was just like, he was having suicidal thoughts and he's chatting with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT encouraged him to kill himself, which he did. So these are the extreme dangers that AI poses for the youth, going forward. So what you got to say about this, Student X? We'll go with you first.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just like anything else, anything could be a danger to someone, but if you're using AI properly, it's a great tool, and that's all it is. You can't rely on it solely, and cite it as your a lone source of information. Now, the good news is sometimes if you use it correctly, the different sources are provided, but even still, is how AI is taught, is three main approaches. They use either supervised learning, unsupervised learning, or reinforced learning. And it basically the AI is interacting with data, environment, and a bunch of examples that you feed it. It's almost like a child. And so, by the time you do all this, it's a brilliant tool. I use it a lot, nowadays, and it's made my life more efficiently, so, but, obviously if you have someone who is a child, like anything on the internet, they should be supervised and it should be managed.
What you got to say about that, Brother Walt?
This AI is huge, obviously. And guess what? It's in its toddler stage right now. The toddler AI. It's really gonna just change the whole dynamic of how we even operate with people in real life. Like I like getting pictures from Instagram and just the beautiful ladies. I just like looking at them. I ain't doing nothing with them. But now I'm looking at pictures and I'm like, that's AI. That's not real. Like, so I'm like, I've just totally abandoned doing that. And that's what's happening right now. AI is taking over everything and every aspect of our life that we're living in. That's why I always tell people, if you have a job where you're working from home, you better start looking for something else, because those are soft skills that's going to be replaced by AI. Their AI is going to be like you're talking to someone and it's like, I'm really talking to a human being right here. Real talk. Everybody getting put out of work. Now, my boss at my job, he been telling us, y'all should get into AI. Every meeting he say, AI. I'm like, man, I drive buses. How the hell I'm going to incorporate AI with driving a goddamn bus? But he's right. It can be incorporated in our lives, just how Brother Student X said. So, yeah, AI is a mother.
Hey, Student X, is AI going to be challenging you in the teaching profession?
You said, are you talking to me?
Sorry, Afro agnostic. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
They do look alike. They do look alike.
Practical, in terms of practical application in the teaching profession, AI is definitely a life saver, a time saver. It's like better than Swiss cheese or teachers, the best thing ever. As far as I agree with Student X, as far as it needs to be supervised, it needs to be managed, and people need to be taught how to use it properly, and there should be certain restrictions. But I think the onus of that should fall on the AI companies themselves. They should impose these things and resource these things. This is part of community development that they owed the community. And as far as the other thing, as far as what Walk said, believe it or not, Karl Marx talked about AI in the 19th century, you know, when he talked about capitalism, automation, or that being outgrowth for automation. The whole idea is to replace labor with surplus labor, that which puts people out of work. That is the goal of capitalism, because then you extract more profits. So it's definitely a dynamic within capitalism that needs to be addressed too.
All right, Mr. Floyd X, what you got to say about this?
All right, with this AI stuff, man, you go on the internet, you looking at stuff, and you don't know whether it's real or not. Everybody just gotta be mindful. I was watching this video where Joe Rogan was talking, and then they're like, Joe Rogan turns his back on Donald Trump. And he was saying all the points that Democrats would have loved to hear. And I'm sitting there like, this can't be real. And then when you look at the mouth talking, you got to listen to the voice and watch the mouth talk and be, oh, yeah, this shit phony. And get that shit out of there, man. Don't repost or repost lies thinking that it's the truth. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's some real stuff. And you're excited because it's talking your points. Be careful out there.
Hold on. But Walk said something he said AI, this is in the toddler stage. Yeah, you can detect it now.
That's true. I agree with that.
Yeah. On the misinformation and disinformation front, I think is going to be a benefit. I think it imposes or presents a solution to the problem, because a lot of people are accepting a lot of disinformation. Now people will question shit more because they're gonna be like, "Man, is that AI or not?"
But when you talking to the AI and you talking about killing yourself, and then AI responds back talking about rest easy, King. Come on, man. That's some cold shit. That's some cold shit, man.
That really happened. It really happened. It really happened.
Hey, people die every day, B.
Oh, wow.
Oh, y'all cold.
Oh, that's cold.
And you know, the crazy thing is, AI probably can't recognize sarcasm.
So
that is a good point.
Yep.
We wouldn't have the subtleties.
And another thing, and Mr. Walk, let me say this too. You say you drive a bus. Why should you get into AI? Don't worry about it. They got Waymo. They'll have it for that bus too.
Ouch. They're coming for you. They're coming for you.
Y'all know where they hiring at?
Try AI.
All right. You know what? Let before we go into let's cram this in here. Let's talk about this. So Amun-Ra, you know, the Brown, you know, so the dude basically scored a touchdown. Then he did his little Trump dance, and then he kind of pointed to Trump to, like, you know, in celebration. And he did.
I got the clip. Now, I don't know. We never played no NFL clip. I know the NFL behind it, and they'll catch you and shut shit down. So I'm gonna play it. We're gonna.
Hey, you know what? Student X can just reenact it for us, then, and be safe. Go ahead, Student X. Don't forget the point. Don't forget the point. It looked like you look like Trump and two Bill Clintons. But anyway, so back to
let me play it. Let me play it so y'all can say if this was disrespectful or however you want to view it, so we can have a proper perspective. That's it. And then they say he made a gesture towards Trump, because the thing was Donald Trump was in the arena at the time that was playing in Washington, D.C. This is the same day that he got booed when he was trying to salute or honor the soldiers or something. But he did a gesture after that. I forget. He did some kind of gesture towards the president, and people started jumping on his head. And then he apologized for doing the dance. That thing he just did. He apologized for it. Let's talk about that. Should he have apologized?
No, he
Hey,
shouldn't
man,
have. No, he
go ahead.
shouldn't have. Let me say one thing. He shouldn't have, because he didn't even look like Trump. He looked more like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
That word, he definitely shouldn't apologize. The bottom line is you were okay with it. You just, if you're not making a political statement, just say, look, I wasn't making a political statement, and leave it at that. I mean, the bottom line is that's something that you were okay with. Me, I'm not okay with Trump, so I'd never be doing a dance and point to him and trying to get his approval. That was my whole situation. What you got to say about this, brother Walt?
That's insane. What you just said, brother. Trump is the president of the United States.
Get your flag.
It's right there. You see it behind me?
Right there in the back?
Yeah. Don't interrupt me while I'm interrupting you. Yeah. Trump is the president of the United States. You're giving props and salute to the president of the United States. He in the building watching you play. That's a big deal. Like you're like doing this dance and saying, "What's up, Trump?" I promise you, if we see Trump, we're gonna be like, "Hey, that's Trump. That's Trump." What you gonna say? "Oh, fuck you. I hate you. I hate you," even though you've never affected my life personally, like y'all be on the show, knowing that he ain't affected your life. But yeah, that's insane. That's crazy. Salute to Donald Trump. He was in the building. And him apologizing was some sucker shit, in my opinion. That was totally sucker shit for apologizing. What you apologizing for? What's the name? The champion of UFC, John Bones Jones. Trump is watching him fight. He did the Trump dance. I would have lost a lot of respect for John Bones Jones if he would apologize for doing a goddamn Trump dance. Knock it off. Salute to the president of the United States. What's up? We in the best country of our life.
Afro Ignacio, what you got to say about that?
Well, I'm just kind of addressing what you said first. That gesture is paying homage. It's kind of like a Heil Hitler to Hitler. Not trying to make a parallel between Hitler and Trump. But what I'm saying is like you're paying, gestures, expressions, these things. That's what you're doing, which is cool to do. I'm just saying it is what it is. That part. Now, because that's cultural suicide amongst Black people. In order to preserve himself, you should apologize as a tactic to regarner some of your cultural capital that you lost, and then that being associated with MAGA is a way of kind of stigmatizing him as a Black person. So that's a strategy, but it is what it is. What he did, it was playing.
Is he Black?
Brother Afro, real quick, like. You're saying like the salute to Hitler. And I mean, we understand that in America right now, it's a divide. You got Blacks who are on the Trump side and don't feel like he's a Hitler or whatever, the negative towards Blacks.
You got 12% of Blacks, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you got Blacks on the other side who says that. I mean,
the majority,
in America,
the vast majority.
But we're in a country where you're free to express yourself. You shouldn't have to apologize about expressing yourself. Him doing the dance.
No, I didn't say you shouldn't have to. But I'm saying you're going to have to if you want.
He's going to lose capital. You say some cultural capital or something.
Every act you do has political consequences. That is one of the consequences.
Okay. Hey, Jordan said Republicans buy shoes too. Go ahead.
But he have to be able to stand on what he did. That's why I think everybody agrees that he shouldn't have apologized, but except for you, Brother Afro, right?
No, I mean I'm standing 10 toes down. Yeah.
Yeah, he shouldn't apologize. Just stand on what you believe in, and it is what it is, man. That's how I'm looking at it. And I just hate the shutting them down or that super jaywalk, super support. It's a fine line. that's what I'm trying to say. It's a fine line.
And before I pass it to you, student next, I do want to distinguish that even though the Hitler and the Hail is an extreme, I mean, it's just like, you ain't gonna see blood sea walking. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that you wouldn't tend to associate with unless you're basically trying to associate with. But go ahead, student next. You got the floor, brother.
So kind of like when Serena Williams was like sea walking at the Super Bowl, is that like?
No, Serena's a Crip.
Ouch! Did you hear that part? She's from the Crip parts of Compton. So
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so she was representing, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying she's doing the same thing. I don't mean to cut you.
Yeah, I think this is a whole lot of nothing, honestly. I think the majority of people just don't even care one way or another. As for him, I wouldn't apologize, for sure. At the very least would have told someone, hey man, it's just, I thought it was funny, kept it pushing, but the more I hear from Afro, I'm starting to wonder, was he a part of this burning Teslas movement, going on, man? Because he takes some extreme positions, on situations. I can't even see how someone can even compare this to Hitler or anything else. It's just so ridiculous and so far out there that I think this is why the Democrats are ultimately doomed, because those who lean left towards that type of radical thinking in general, then they had the only people they're willing to elect and support are people who take real radical positions. And that when you look at a general election, those people won't win. So it's gonna get interesting. For sure.
Hey, Afro, you really don't. Go ahead. Because I was gonna say you really don't even need to respond, because you actually said that this extreme, it's not that extreme. You distinguished from what the reference that you were doing from Hitler. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was the only one I can think of at that moment, but I knew that would be the wrong one to use. But yeah,
well, it's an extreme one, and that's the point. That's reductio absurdum. It's you use the extreme to demonstrate the absurdity of a position. So again, it's not an issue. He's not saying that this dude is Hitler. You know what I'm saying? So that but that having been said, this is probably a good time to go to the commercial. Wait, before you do that.
Yes,
La Brea Trucking for all of your trucking needs. East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast, North to South, South to North. You want to get something transported across country, call La Brea Trucking. Y'all saw the phone number at the end.
Go to the internet, gobealive.org. Go get you some of that black honey. And if you want to get it in person, go to the Petty Vice at Venice, or go to the Afro City Marketplace at the Crenshaw Mall. Salute, Sister Nitra.
Turn up the dial, it's 10:30. Be back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip hop intact. Saturday morning.
Spin that back show. We will be back next week. We just having some rap fatigue right now, so check us out next week.
Wow. Score Bar and Lounge. If you're in the Sacramento area, go check them out. 7123 Franklin Boulevard. Black owned. Good food, good drinks, good music. 9 big screen TVs. You can watch all your sports games, the basketball, the Emeritus Cup games, or you can watch all of it at the sports bar. Go check them out Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whenever they're open. Just check your local listings and see the time that they're open. Hey, I did it wrong. My bad. Make sure that. That's what it is. All right. All right. Let's go. Nice guy.
Text Dr. Walk every 9 p.m. on Thursdays. He's gonna this week. He's gonna be talking about mending your heart after a hard break. So yes. So that having been said, what I was gonna say, and before we pass out, is saying that Mr. Amon Saint, whatever, he should have probably read the room. At least from the videos, it seemed like there was predominantly booze that the president was getting. But again, maybe that wasn't the case. That having been said, let's talk about the government. Go ahead.
Before we go, I just want to talk basketball for 1 second. It was an amazing game last night. The Spurs and the Golden State. Steph Curry did his thing again. He got a back-to-back 40-plus point game. And I just want to play this one basketball clip real quick. Hopefully the NBA don't shut us down. But check this out.
Sends off the D, floater on the fly. Got
Shit is amazing.
That's for
Salute to
educational
Jeff.
purposes.
It's an education.
Aisha Curry has a statement. She said, "Oh, big deal."
Come on, dude. I was trying to balance it out positive to say. he ruined it.
Cunningham did his thing too, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Went by there too. All right, go ahead, nice guy. All good.
All right, so let's talk about the government shutdown. It's been reopened. It's back up. So yay. So somebody caved in, and somebody basically won the shutdown. And I suppose that's what we're really going to talk about. So you know what? I want to give Apple Agnostic first bite at the apple. Who caved? Go ahead.
Before I asked everybody, and everybody was saying that everybody on the panel. At least I know Brother Afro and Student X. I think nice guy also. Everybody was saying that the Democrats gonna compare because the Republicans had leverage. Good job on both of y'all, or all of y'all who said that, because I didn't know what was gonna happen. But salute. Go ahead, Brother Afro.
Yeah. So I think it's obvious that the Dems caved in because they got nothing in return. Everyone kind of anticipated that they would do that because they've been caving in, what I'm saying, since universal. This is really an issue about universal health care, really. To me, that's the essence of it right there. And that's just the subsidies, that's a little band-aid on the bigger problem. And they've been, that was supposed to be a part of the Social Security Act under FDR. It's like, man, just do universal health care. That will solve the whole issue anyway. So it's just crazy. But I'll let some other people respond.
Wait. So you say who caved in, but who won the shutdown? Who extracted voter capital from it?
I think from what I can see in the short term, the Republicans, I think they won. Because the whole issue was over the subsidies for the Obamacare, and they're going to vote on it in January, right? And then it'll go to the Congress. Republicans make up the majority, and then even if it does pass, if it goes to the president, he has to sign off on it. So, it's not going to win. We just postpone and defeat.
Brother Walk, would you, you got something
to say about that? Put that camera on me, baby. Put it on me. Let's go. Put the camera on me. I want the screen. I got my check. I already got my check, and I got my $50 right here to buy my $100 worth of food stamp today when I meet up with my boy. That's who won. Me.
That's what's up. To the next.
Yeah, it's clearly a wash in terms of the politicians. Democrats. The 8 defecting senators. That caved under public pressure. They cave. But in terms of from a Republican standpoint, they're looked at as prolonging pain and suffering in American people. So it's a wash there. But the real losers are once again the American people. Because nothing has been resolved. 70% of the American people, they want lower premiums. And that is going to definitely influence how they vote. In elections. But even beyond that, Afro just mentioned that. What the people want is the same thing that Congress has, which is that universal health care. That's what we want. That's what the people should demand. Obama wasn't trying to give that to us. Republicans, Democrats, they weren't trying to give it to us, at all. Once again, the American people are losing. And I think we have just about 100% dissatisfaction, with the government at this standpoint on so many issues. In particular, this issue.
Totally agree, brother. Man, you get the horn on that, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The little socialist Mr. Floyd X, what you got to say about this?
Man, watching the news reports and after talking with y'all about it and getting a better understanding, it was really disappointing. And I hate the way that the Democrats did it. And from what I understand, this is a normal tactic that they get 8, the deciding vote, they get 8 Democrats who are not in danger of losing votes next year. So they voted like it was from the top down that they said, okay, we're going to and they voted, and then they act like they was appalled and disappointed at those 8. It's a messed up game. With the Jaywalk, you say political theater. They go in there and put on a big show, stands firm for 40 plus days. Then they cower and didn't get nothing. Absolutely nothing in return. I thought this was a big, main, important issue. Children are dying. That's what some of the Democrats were saying. Children are dying. We need to get them on this health care, and we got to get out here and look at this shit. And they just turned it over and handed it. And how did people say they handed their asses to Donald Trump?
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't even going to comment on this. But go ahead and give me the screen. I think you guys are missing a big piece of the puzzle. So, you know, first of all, the Democrats didn't cave in. 8 Democrats caved in. Now, if you want to say it was some conspiratory thing that was, you know, that there was some plan, something, you know, feel free to have at that. But on its face, what clearly happened is 8 people defected. So again, those are the people that actually caved in. As far as who won, well, first of all, and the reason they did it is because they weren't going to get this capitulation.
Can we debate the defective part before you go on to the next? Because
no. Before you do that, bro, let him say what he got to say. Then let me say my piece too.
Yeah, that's exactly. So okay, so again, so we're talking about that. And then as far as what was gained from this, it's like you guys are forgetting what literally happened election Tuesday. When the polls were basically telling you that the Republicans took the greatest hit from the shutdown. And at the end of the day, real people were suffering behind the shutdown. So I get it. I understand. You want to hold out for something, but you're going to hold out for something that was never going to play out. And the reality is you've gotten a whole bunch of voter capital from it. So you won election Tuesday, and the midterms are probably going to be a bloodbath. But at the end of the day, you could have the Republicans that refuse to capitulate to just this one provision about, you know, healthcare. So they're going to take the full blunt of the force of the situation, and we'll see what happens when they do that vote at the beginning of December. But the bottom line is, you know, that's what really happened. So go ahead, Mr. Elpu, say what you're going to say, and then we can come back.
Okay, I was getting ready to say, in reality, nobody really wins when the people are the pawns of profit. And number 2, what really happened was it got us moving. It got the government open, which means that now we can get to the business of getting these Epstein files opened up, or whatever the case is going to be, because we got Donald Trump on the run right now. And another thing is the other people that kind of, you know, another positive about this is at least these people get to eat for another 30 days on Snap. I'll say that much too.
Me.
This is the real issue. Let's if you got something else to say about that, put it in the comments. That's the perfect pivot. I mean, this really, just think about it. Who's the person that took the greatest hit over the last few days? You know, it was Trump with this whole Epstein, because once the Senate got back in place, you know, they basically added that one person, or was it the Senate or the House? Suffice it to say, that sister got swore in, and you know, you got the 218, and you know, now those wheels are turning, and now the meme is just destroying this dude over this whole sort of Bubba issue. And I want to say,
I wasn't clear on who won either. I'm just being clear. I was just, as far as them being detractors, I don't believe that's the issue. I think that was orchestrated.
Yes, I don't.
I don't know who's going to win from this.
Yeah, because real quick, Mr. Nice Guy, do you believe that Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries did not know that those 8 was going to vote against it?
I'm inclined to believe that they didn't agree with it. They didn't think that it was okay, and especially Chuck Schumer is going to get fired over this stuff. So it definitely is not in his interest to have that happen. They excoriated these.
That was a yes or no question.
I did.
That was a yes or no question. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that was you see the deflection.
Wait. The reason I gave you the yes or no, as far as I'm just saying what happened, but obviously I can't tell you. Again, I don't know what.
Oh, you don't read minds. My bad.
I don't read minds exactly, and I don't know what happened in discussion. But I'm saying on its face, you know that this dude is probably going to lose his job over this. You know that the bottom line is that they came out and excoriated these people over there. They're saying that, look, we're the ones, the polls are showing that we're winning every single day of this shutdown. What political benefit is it to us to stop? So I think on its face, it's much more obviously and clear that they wanted to keep going with it. But at the end of the day, You got real people suffering behind this. You've already established your voter capital. Now we need to cut the bleed as far as getting the airplanes running, getting, people back to work and, SNAP, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. So you said that they didn't get anything. They did get some things. They also got those Democrats that got fired. They got their jobs back, because that's what he did. He said, look, you guys want to protest, we're just going to selectively fire Democrats for the government. You know what I'm saying? And so they did get some capitulation. They didn't get the healthcare thing, but they definitely agreed to a vote, and that's what's up.
Okay, but the party still functions. I mean, that the party has to let some people go at some time strategically. That's how it goes. So he may be the fall man or the fall guy for this, but the party that was dictated from the top down. That's still my.
I mean, that's your opinion based on just
my contention. Yeah.
Hey, you having a Candace Owens? Did Charlie Kirk tell you from the grave that this would happen? I mean, it's basically the same type of thing. It's
my opinion. It's my opinion. Yeah, it's my opinion. Yeah, no doubt.
I know this, and I don't have to read minds or be in the rooms. They talk to these people. They talk all the time. They like, look, we're going to do it like this because you're not up for election or this, that. They had them conversations in them back rooms, bro. That happens. It ain't no doubt about that. Everybody know what they going to do and ain't supposed to do and better not do. Charlie Kirk didn't know what he supposed to do, and that's why he was like.
Yeah, some people actually disagree. They have disagreeing opinions as far as whether you should shut down. Some people have been arguing that the whole time. So again, some like Fetterman, he's been saying the whole time that look, after this stuff ended. So I'm just saying that you can have this conspiracy stuff, but
I think too that some of the same people who were some of the biggest advocates for the shutdown, some of the same that they became the one of the 8 that rescinded that be called effective. But I think again that was how all of them go be. That's a pattern. All of them are not up for election 100%. I mean,
hey, don't worry about it. We'll get a chance to do this all again in a couple of months. All right.
So let's talk about Epstein. Let's talk about the ghost of Epstein. That's the real situation. The bottom line is you saying that this person was basically dug in. He was fine with having the shutdown going as long as whatever. Trump wasn't caring about people not getting eaten, planes, none of this stuff, because the bottom line is this kept this Epstein stuff at bay. But once you open Bill Clinton, memes and all that stuff going on, and before we get real started with that, we have to have this big disclaimer up here. So I'm trying to look forward. Okay, here we go, right here. So check this out. The name of the documents mentioned, including one from Epstein's brother Mark, with references to photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Bubba is the nickname of former President Bill, but Mark Epstein told Newsweek that individual was not Clinton. So despite all these great hilarious memes, that's not who Bubba was. Clearly, if he knew somebody, he knew somebody else. So that having been said, let's go ahead. But we got a whole bunch of pictures.
Hey, I know it's kind of late, but I thought it was funny that the picture that I've been going around the big beautiful Bill and Donald Trump is grabbing Bill Clinton. That was kind of funny, but I think there we go. The beautiful Bill. That's funny.
His first taste of the presidency. You know what I'm saying? Not the throatus, goatus, POTUS, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, and then, these cats is getting into it. He's like, what the most about the White House? What? The pudding. He's like, I didn't know you like pudding so much. I like putting these nuts in your mouth. So, again, these things is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? It's disrespectful. And then you have, this is like a real tweet, where Donald Trump says, this didn't age very well.
He did.
Yeah, this didn't age. Yeah, this didn't age very well considering it wasn't been rumored to have happened. He's satisfied. So that's what's up. So go ahead. Yes. So but go ahead. Walk. You got something to say about this? Last thing they go.
Jeffrey Epstein. Will this is the question? The question is, Walk. Will Trump survive the Epstein files?
Yes. Since Jeffrey Dahmer died, whatever his fucking name. Since Jeffrey Epstein died, They've been knowing what was in these files and all this stuff. You think people ain't read? They acting like we gotta read all this stuff. Come on, I know a chick who wrote read a 1,000-page book in 1 week. Everybody implies that he did something inappropriate with a kid. Besides that one thing where they say, where Epstein said the dog didn't bark. That's what he said. That was Donald Trump. So listen, the dog that didn't bark. So that means that's like he's saying he didn't hit the little youngin.
He's got text where he's talking about. Go ahead.
Let me explain the dog that didn't bark. This is how I understand it from the watching the news. They say the dog that didn't bark is from a story, like from the 70s. It was a guard dog that he knew what was going on but didn't bark. So it's not nothing to do with it.
It showed that the robber was friendly with the owner. So
that's how you know.
Yeah.
So what's the deal there? What happened there? Okay, where's that?
Talks about how he was alone with the little girls for all of this time so there actually are email messages where he describes the things that he did with the girls and stuff like that. So again,
Epstein or Donald Trump?
It's Epstein. Epstein's talking about Donald Trump. But again,
who's a known liar, who is a con man, who is a swindler, a shyster.
Who you talking about, Donald Trump?
Yeah, exactly. Who is actually doing these things that he talked about? So
there, baby.
Curve, so that's what's up.
Hey, I'm single again. Watch this. I'm gonna start grabbing them in the pussy. Let's go.
Just make sure their father ain't around.
There's nothing there, but he's nothing there.
Let's go call the dad. We all go call the dad.
Brother Afro, will Trump survive the Epstein files?
He may survive. I agree with Walk. He may survive legally. White men do have this extra shield of just especially wealthy white men. But his image is forever tainted. Will he survive without his image being tainted? Absolutely not. Because already we see a lot of his supporters, who viewed him. Even when I say supporters, not just those who voted for him, but those who agree with his policies on draining the swamp and immigration. And he's a champion for the working class and prosperity, affordability, making shit great. Outsider, he's challenging the establishment. 3D chess man. Now that image is starting to wane. He's starting to look like a wealthy, entitled, racist, selfish, disdain for people beneath him, approaching dementia, predator. He's starting to look more and more like that.
And water is wet.
He said draining the swamp. He said, I'm going to drain the swamp. And here goes the swamp. But anyways, student next.
That was right on time.
Oh, man, that's crazy. Hey, check this one out.
That was foul, nice guy. I just got that shit. That was foul. God damn.
So go ahead, student next. What you got to say about this?
Yo. So look, so let me start with the last part of what Afro was saying. And he's right. A lot of people, even supporters of Trump and Make America Great Again, the whole 9 yards. A lot of people are. I mean, they're starting to fall like flies. But there is a remnant, and what that remnant, has an understanding of. And look, I must admit, I'm leaning in that direction too. Is there's this old adage of saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And the more I see like Trump move, is like he's exposing, not just so-called his actions, but mainly the actions of all those around us. So when we start talking about the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation right here, what's not being talked about and what is like being ignored by, of course, mainstream media, most of them, and even some of the alternative media, is that there was some information that came out, by a group of people, these reporters from they're called Drop Site News, where, man, it is super credible, and it shows that without doubt Jeffrey Epstein had intelligent ties and connections to Mossad. And it lines it out, so brutally, to where is no doubt about it. The law. I'm talking about names are being named, like the top Israeli spy Yoni Koren stayed at Epstein's Manhattan apartment for weeks at a time. all this is documented. There was a failed agreements and back channel communication between Israel and other nations. All this information came out, so what's really happening, and what's going on, what it looks like to me is that Trump, is, and this is what Brother Yusuf had promoted as well, is that essentially Democrats, they weren't really pre-election, really, this wasn't a big issue for them. It was seemingly growing in popularity, but most people, it just wasn't a big issue on them in regards to the files, but there was both a Republican and a Democrat that got together and came up, with, legislations to get the files exposed, and it was cross-party, so there was something building, but ultimately, it seems to me that, Trump had to play chicken and play dead, like he didn't want this to come out and something's going to expose or hurt him because, what's come out? Some emails, that show, that have no connection to evidence or facts or anything else. It'd be like me sending an email saying I saw, Afro and Nice involved in some homosexual activity, and then now people's gonna pull that email and be like, oh, Afro and Nice, look, I told you about them brothers, It's like, no, come on, man, it's foolishness. We have to look at what's really being hidden, and that is Mossad and Israel's ties into the U.S. government and how we run this country and its influence on this country and how it's impacting Americans negatively.
And Netanyahu is Trump's great friend. And Netanyahu
we got a
is Trump's
comment.
Great friend. Go ahead, El Poo.
We got a good comment.
What's the comment?
Black Somebody 313. I don't think anybody disputes Epstein had ties with Mossad.
Okay, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. But listen, it's one thing that can clear all that up. Just release the files. That's all.
Exactly.
They released.
Release the entire files. Period. Period.
Y'all think
why would you fight it? If you're innocent, why would you fight it?
Because they're protecting Israel. That's why. Israel. That's why.
Oh, he's protecting.
Why is he protecting Israel then? Obviously, he's bedfellows with them then. So that's what you're saying. He's protecting his good buddies Israel. Okay, so now we got to it.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with Trump at all. Trump is so innocent, but he has to protect Israel.
He's playing 3D chess.
Trump ain't protecting nobody but
Trump. Other world leaders, brothers. Other world leaders.
Yeah, Trump ain't interested in nobody else. He trashes.
No,
not
leaders. Trump. Not Trump. Not Trump.
What?
It's
what is Trump protecting?
Like,
what is Trump protecting? Trump is protecting Trump.
No, y'all looking like this.
No, y'all complicating stuff. The simplest explanation usually is the one that's correct. He's the one that's running from it. He's the one that's sitting there on the phone begging people, please vote against it. Pull your name off.
Okay, where do you get that? Said that a few times. Who is he begging? He was begging
the Republicans that are part of the 218. The 218.
He didn't beg, he ordered.
Where did you get that?
And he didn't do it. Student X said it happened. So why don't you go ask Student X?
I'm asking you. You said it.
Student X, because we already know it. I'm not trying to waste time on this. Fact of the matter is that dude is a scourge, and he's a scourge because we know about.
And water is wet, buddy.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So it's just that's what's up. And this is the stuff. This ain't even true. He's worried about this stuff. He's worried about the stuff that's actually true. So we'll see how it plays out. The bottom line is, if you got nothing to hide, you put it out there. If it's gonna expose Mossad, why would he care? Just come out and do it. I mean, it's that's not even the issue. Go ahead, Afro. You look like you about to say something.
No, that was it. I agree with
this year. Next time, we ain't going to be talking about none of this shit.
We're gonna be talking about it. We're gonna be talking about it.
It's amazing how you guys missed the whole point. Is that the whole thing that Epstein was involved in was honeypot operation, blackmail operations, the whole 9 yards. So when you're having to do favors for Mossad, Israeli intelligence, it's because now you're protecting yourself from data that you don't want released, potentially that might incriminate you or harm you.
Or you're creating blackmail capital to use against somebody to get something that you want. Absolutely. The bottom line is, but if you're getting blackmail capital, that means someone's actually doing something that you can blackmail them with.
That's exactly right.
So clearly they got the goods on them.
I believe they got goods on everybody.
Right.
Hold on. What about this email right here when he said this? He have never met anybody. He has met some very bad people, but none as bad as Trump. No one decent selling his body.
I just gave you an example right now. If I sent the email and I was like, man, El Poo, that guy, you can't trust him. You know, he's the worst guy in the world. And then someone's going to cite that as evidence now that El Poo's the worst guy in the world. I mean, what does that mean? You know,
what, you got a good point. But let me say this. Just release all the files, man.
Exactly, because there's more than just emails. There's actual.
They're going to get released, and at the end of the day, it was because of Trump's pushback. Because the Democrats were not on board with getting these files released like this until more recently. You know, and that's ultimately
the Democrats didn't run on this. The Democrats weren't even talking about this.
Trump wants them released, honestly.
See, again, this was not the Democrats' thing. They weren't concerned about this. It wasn't that they was trying to fight this. It just wasn't. You know, they didn't have a dog in the race. The Republicans campaigned on this. They made stuff an issue, and now that we're all thinking about it, we're finding out that hey, he's very super exposed in this. So of course they're going to be like, yeah, let's go ahead and put it all out there. So again, this is basically people begging for something and then finding out that they didn't want it. You know, they didn't want to get it because basically the guy on top was really going to take the fall.
And it exposes his image as someone that they originally voted for. On the perspective that he was anti-establishment, he wasn't a part of the fold. He was outside of the normal, Zionism,
anti-pedophile too, because QAnon's greatest enemy. The whole thing that they were talking about is the pedophilia ring and stuff like that. So it's just this is the situation. He's going to survive. He's not going to politically survive this, and ultimately he's going to be a lame duck president, and the Republicans are going to turn on him just like the Democrats turned on Biden. Once they've used up all the capital from all their voter capital from him, they will cast him to the side.
I mean, there's no Trump. That's not even a, JD Vance, but no Trump.
So yeah, so
there's no way you could charge Trump with being a lame duck just based on.
Lame duck means the definition of a lame duck means that you in the last year you can't be elected again. That's all it means. Every president that's basically done 2 terms is going to be a lame duck president in their last year. That's the definition of lame duck. So don't read no more.
I'm reading a different definition. I'm saying
that's the definition. So
that's the way you said it, though.
Irrelevance. He sees power control that no U.S. president has ever seized and had before.
And he's going to lose it all.
He's going to lose it all when he starts control this whole multi-billion-dollar tariff industry.
Hey, dementia is real.
Yeah, exactly. So that having been said, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. If you got you want to put some feedback in, go into the comments and and say what you got to say. That having said,
waiting on my $2,000 check.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to talk about the double standard thing, but okay.
Well, the double standard thing was just going to be a situation where we know that white people get to do stuff that black people don't get to do, just like certain presidents get to do certain things that other people don't get to do. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And I know the Student X he hates talking about that because he knows that we have perfect equality in America and that there's absolutely none of that going on.
That's not my reason for not being excited about this. I'm just not like one who is going to be whining and complaining about situations. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.